Hi guys, welcome to part 2A of the micronutrient series. In this video, we are going to see what qualifies a mineral as a micronutrient. So the question to us is, how is a dietary mineral decided to be on the list? Because if you look up the definition of minerals, it includes substance obtained by mining, and that includes gold. But gold isn't a dietary mineral. And if you look at the periodic table, only a number of minerals are selected as dietary minerals. The ones in the blue circle are the ones selected by Ministry of Health Malaysia and published in the RNI book 2017 edition. To answer the question of what is considered a dietary mineral, we have to first understand what our body is made of. Our body is 96% carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen, 1.5% calcium, 1% phosphorus, 0.585% potassium, sodium chloride, sulfur, and magnesium, and 0.5% of ultra trace minerals. The second question to ask is, does your body throw it or recycle it? Do we need to replenish the elements? The answer is both. There can be cases where your body recycles the elements, but there is a study known as the balance study where the intake and elimination of a nutrient is measured to see if you are losing more than you are taking or vice versa. The third question is to know the criteria of how these minerals, dietary minerals, came to be. And the healthcare professionals, they will justify the roles of these minerals. We'll look at 3 examples from a table taken from Wikipedia. Example 1, potassium. Under the column category, you can see that it is a systemic electrolyte and is essential in co-regulating ATP with sodium. Example 2, chlorine. Chlorine is needed for production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach and in cellular pump functions. Example 3, sodium. Sodium is a systemic electrolyte and is essential in co-regulating ATP with potassium. So the list of dietary minerals are still debated. This is a list of elements considered possibly essential for humans but not confirmed. This table is taken from Wikipedia. Here is another look at the periodic table now categorized according to different categories of elements that the body needs. So you see there is the 4 basic organic elements. There is elements you need in quantities. And also there are essential trace elements. And these 3 are largely agreed upon by all the different healthcare organizations. So the next category is elements with different views. Some let's say European Union sees as not important, but US sees as important. So these are like the debatable ones. And then there are other categories such as they kind of see some effects if you don't have the mineral, but they don't see any biological function in humans. They don't know how it is used yet, so they are not sure how to categorize it. These are listed in this color. And then there are some with limited evidence in mammals, and then some have no evidence in mammals. This is from Wikipedia as well, under dietary minerals. So do all health organizations agree? The answer is no. Different opinions exist about the essential nature of various ultra trace elements in humans and other mammals, even based on the same data. For example, there is no scientific consensus on whether chromium is an essential trace element in humans. The US and Japan designate chromium as essential nutrient, but European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, representing the European Union, reviewed the question in 2014 and does not agree. There is a list, if you're interested, on Wikipedia that lists the minerals, and to say it'll say which countries agree on what or does not agree on what. So should we be confused because not every element is agreed on? No. Because the majority of elements are agreed on, and you just have to focus on the agreed elements. There are different salt formulas for minerals. Are they the same or are they different? Here is a list of 10 different types of magnesium salt supplements. There are information available online or by independent evidence-based sites such as Healthline that explain their differences. So we'll go into a bit of application. How do you know how much content of the mineral there is on the supplement? So we're going to look at a few magnesium labels. So sometimes it is straightforward. You can see that in one capsule, there is 160 milligram of magnesium, and this magnesium is in the magnesium citrate salt. Sometimes it's not as straightforward. You can see that the label here, it says magnesium amino acid chelate 750. So it's 750 milligrams of this magnesium salt. But in terms of equivalence value, it's only equal to 150 elemental magnesium. So do you follow the 750 milligram or the 150? You look at the elemental magnesium one. So the amount of magnesium in there is actually 150 milligram, not 750 milligram. This is another example. There is 200 milligram of elemental magnesium. It's in the form of magnesium bisglycinate salt. The salt is 2000 milligram, but you follow the 200 milligram. But another thing to note is you have to check the serving size. The serving size is 2 tablets. So it means 2 tablets contain 200 milligram. So one tablet actually only have 100 milligram of magnesium. Here is another example of combination. One veggie capsule has 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium, and this is made up of 3 different combination salts: magnesium oxide, magnesium citrate, magnesium aspartate. So there are multiple formulations to choose from. Which type should I go for? So you have to look at the list of priorities that you have. Priority number 1 is to know how much you need. What's the dose you need? So that's your first priority. Secondly, is to buy from a trusted brand or vendor. The item should be accessible to you. You can get it easily and at low cost or economic cost. So beware not to buy from unrecognized vendors, especially online vendors that you don't know, that does not have a reputation yet. Next, if you get any side effects, you just try a different salt or a different brand. You can read up online on different sites to compare which salt you prefer or want to try next. Next, if you have allergy to specific ingredients, always check before you buy. You can just choose a different formulation if one of them contains an ingredient that you don't tolerate well. So a tip is, before you start any supplements, is to try them all one by one. Don't try a few at the same time. You add the supplements one by one, and also you can start at the lower dose. So let's say the supplements, they take 2 or 3 tablets. You just take 1 first, and then slowly build it up if you need more than 1 tablet over a few days to a few weeks. So especially if you have a thing called nocebo, it's like placebo but negative. So if you are susceptible to nocebo, when you believe in that something will give you side effects, it actually does because you think, and therefore your body reacts in a way that it physically gives you that negative effect. So if you are some groups of people are likely to be susceptible to nocebo, you just have to go slow and try one by one, and also slowly dose it up. That's all for this chapter on minerals. We'll move on to vitamins in the next video.